What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Quick Diz Takes podcast, episode number 45, where we continue our attraction series. And today we have the exciting attraction of the Jungle Cruise. So that's what we'll be talking about. And this will be our, attraction episode / Christmas episode, as Johnny will be heading to Disney World on Christmas Day. And we will not be having an episode next week. So we will discuss this attraction, and it actually works out pretty good because as far as Disney World goes, this is an attraction that has a holiday overlay, so it kind of falls nicely into the theme of the time of the season. So as we've been doing every week, we'll start with Johnny and general opinions on not the Jungle Cruise, but the Jungle Cruise.
It's that classic Disney ride. It's pretty much a must-do every time we go, unless the line's outrageous, which it's not usually. But I enjoy, most of the corny jokes, but it's a nice little. I don't know. It's a nice little thing. I enjoy them. I try to at least make the skippers feel good and try to laugh, not be expecting everything. But it's themed really good. It's just overall one of those, I think, must-dos whenever you go to Magic Kingdom.
It's one of those rides where, I agree, it's a must-do. And I just wonder, if newer generations, if you don't have your parents, I have, you have your kids, I have already, pounding into your head that, it's just classic. You have to enjoy this. It's classic. The jokes are stupid and just corny, but they're really kind of funny in a weird way, and all this stuff. If you don't have that going on, and you just go, I don't know if this would appeal to a newer generation. Because it really kind of has to be it really has to be kind of appreciated for the nostalgia elements of it. Otherwise, it's just a really weird boat ride through a pretty chintzy looking animatronic sets, and it's just borderline or pretty much politically not correct a lot of times on some of the stuff. And I don't know, it's definitely old Disney charm, but as we get older and dad jokes become more and more funny, it works into that, I guess. It is nothing more. It is just nothing more than Disney classic. Just the skipper being a wise guy right out of the gate, and having their little jokes of, I'll be your host for the next 3 hours or 3 days, whatever they say, and things like that are just corny, but kind of give you a chuckle. And then, of course, you come around these scenes where these animatronics are just kind of scattered around in the water, and they don't do a whole lot. They're not exactly the most, advanced animatronics you've ever seen. I guess would be a kind way to put that.
Yeah, that's a kind way.
But I think, Walt Disney had in mind this idea for a ride that was originally supposed to be live animals, and they went animatronics, and then I think the people that were playing the captains just started having fun with it over time, because if you didn't, it was ridiculous. I can't imagine just going through Jungle Cruise with whatever the original script was. Because here's some giraffes, or here's this, here's that, and it's just okay. Not much going on, but with a little bit of, they're fast talking, and there's this constant, kind of corny jokes, like you said, but they're constant, so it keeps the ride going, and every once in a while you get a new joke, and it's fun.
Yeah, it definitely, well, I think what makes it or breaks it is who you do get as a skipper, because I've been on with, I've never had the bad experience where it's just that you might get a newer skipper, or just somebody that's after a long day and they're just not into it. I've had really good ones and just mediocre ones, but it just that difference from a mediocre to a really good one is just it makes it better. I know the last time we went on in July, I forget her name, but she was a really good skipper. She was very into it, into the jokes, into giving a show, even though with how it was, I think there was 6 of us on the boat with all the, with the spacing out and the restrictions, but she still gave it as it was, a full boat. So that really helps it. Skipper is very into it too.
Yeah, that's good. And I mean, I have not, fortunately, have not had a bad, what I would consider a bad skipper yet on that ride. Most people generally seem to be enjoying it. I think amongst cast members in the parks, like it's kind of one of the better, like, gigs to get. I think, I would guess.
Yeah.
I mean, Weird Al wrote a song about being a skipper on the Jungle Cruise ride. If you've never heard that one, check it out. But yeah, kind of fun.
They did. Was that this year? They did the thing with the. They even had skippers like pretend to narrate the Haunted Mansion. Was that this year? I don't know if you saw that video that Disney put out.
Yeah, I don't know if it was this year. It was somewhat in the last.
But it was. I mean, like
last year.
that's a big. Even the letting. That was a pretty.
It's interesting.
A cool idea to have the skippers do something like that. So I think it is. Yeah,
I agree.
I think it is a prized job.
I really do. Like Kevin Costner was a skipper on Jungle Cruise at one time in his younger days, obviously, and obviously The Rock came out and did a couple tours in Disneyland when he was filming the movie. And I don't know. So that brings up my next point about this attraction. It's getting a movie, and so it's classic. It's kind of one of those like untouchable kind of rides. I feel like, but like, let's face it, they're probably going to put The Rock in this attraction, I would assume, somewhere. And it makes me wonder, like, how much of the ride is going to be in the movie to like incorporate where The Rock goes in the ride, or like, are they going to have to change scenes in the ride to make it work with the movie? And if so, is that just gonna? I mean, a lot of it's probably gonna go out the window. Yes.
Yeah, I would just hope because of the cheesiness of all the animatronics and stuff, I would hope that they would, instead of going for like that Johnny Depp animatronic into Pirates, they would maybe dumb the animatronic down to fit the Jungle Cruise, because I wouldn't want it to lose that. Make it cheesy, look like the Trader Sam animatronic, just make it look like The Rock. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
We have another year still, so I was hoping. I mean, that movie did look good to me. I was hoping it was coming out this summer, but I gotta wait another year.
Like we were just gonna get a COVID stream release.
Yeah.
And I wonder what makes them determine that, because
I was hoping.
See,
like the whole Mulan, I didn't. Yeah, I would have paid the probably $30 for that one, which I didn't for the Mulan. I mean, I still haven't even watched the Mulan, even though it's free now. But yeah,
it's not great. Well, anyway, yeah, but I did think that I don't think the Jungle Cruise will be like a great movie, but it looks like it will be a fun movie, like a fun movie tied to the attraction, which could that's all you ask. What you're looking for, you don't need.
Yeah, I think I think they're more going for like the Pirates type of thing, where
I be able to
I wouldn't say the Pirates movies are outstanding.
No, the first one's probably pretty good.
Yeah,
I would say more towards a 7 or 8 out of 10, and then after that, it just kind of, Yeah. Well, I haven't even seen them all, but it seemed like 2 after the first, and slowly but surely not as good. But that's like anything else. Anyway, I think we'll be able to see in the movie if they're gonna try to tie it into the attraction. My guess is they're going to, because I mean, in a sense, the movie's an advertisement to come to the park, and it just falls into what you're doing. Everything. I mean, how many more rides once Jungle Cruise is taken over don't have a movie attached to it? A few, but not many. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Everest doesn't. Space Mountain doesn't, I guess, although they did make a Tomorrowland movie.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look closely, there's a Space Mountain on the skyline, so it sort of does. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small world. Maybe we can skip that movie though.
Yeah. That one might be. Yeah.
Yeah, but my point, you get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, like, yeah, definitely class attraction. I would definitely, you know what? It's one of those things where I'm going to say it's 10 out of 10, but like people that go, maybe some people that listen to this and go on it are probably not going to agree. Like Disney nerds will probably, but it might be one of those if you just go to Disney one time in your life to go and you don't want
Yeah, because
that are like, but I think
yeah, I mean, it's got that connection to Walt and
yeah,
from Disneyland, so it's always, at least for Disney fans who are into Disney, will always give it that 10 out of 10 because it's still that connection to at least the past of him.
that's an important thing.
Just as time goes, those are they're falling away.
But to not repeat ourselves too much here because it's not much time to say about this, right? Let's just talk about the Jingle Cruise real quick. And I just watched it maybe in the last half hour, so I'll start here and say that. Because I know you're kind of trying not to remember it too well because you're going on the trip next week, but
Yeah.
basically a very weak overlay in the sense of, from what I gather, like they changed the U to an I to make it Jingle Cruise. All right, that makes sense. Makes me believe that the only reason why they even overlaid this is because Jungle and Jingle were so close together.
Mm-hmm.
They changed a few scenes. They incorporated a bunch of different Christmassy jokes. There's the rocks over there. There's Jingle Bell Rock. Silly things like that. They got the headhunters. The gift wrapping station now. I'm sorry, the gift wrapping station is the apes, and then the Jeeps turned over in that scene. Like, as you can see, there's a lot of turnover in this, so they try to keep just cheesy things like that.
Yeah. Isn't there like presents in the water or something too?
Yeah,
I remember that.
I guess with any overlay, minus the one, even though I haven't been on it, the Haunted Mansion one in Disneyland with Nightmare Before Christmas, you're not really getting a whole lot. I mean, they shut that right down and like really overlay it.
Yeah.
Which bothers me a little bit in the sense that they should just make a Nightmare Before Christmas ride. That's a different story for a different day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at least they give that a big, 100% effort. Where these are more like quick fixes. I don't even know how long they shut the Jungle Cruise down for. It was overlay maybe a day or two. Excuse me, if it's even that.
If that, yeah.
But yeah, that's nothing to be excited about. As a matter of fact, if I was a big Disney fan, well, I am a big Disney fan, but if I was one that hadn't gone to the parks, kind of waited my whole life to go to the parks, I think I'd be like semi-upset if I got to happen to go between November and January and I had to settle on that variation of that ride. Like after all these years of hearing about rides, I would want to see the original iteration of that ride, not so much that kind of cheesy,
Yeah.
Not great effort put towards that overlay, in my amateur opinion. But
Yeah, I have that same opinion on all of basically overlays. Just if you're that family that goes once every so many years, not every year, you don't want to see the overlay if that's your one trip every 5-10 years, as opposed to people who go often. It doesn't matter.
And they were talking like that they don't do the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay in Disney World because it's more of like Disneyland is 85% locals and it's the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 85% tourists. Now, so if you are a tourist, you get to see the original iteration of the Haunted Mansion versus the overlay.
Yeah.
But my argument with that is, well, if you're gonna do it with Jungle Cruise, like I think the Haunted Mansion overlay is worthwhile. Is just what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't be like if you went next week and it was Nightmare Before Christmas in there, that would not be disappointing. You know what I mean?
No,
I don't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and especially if you
Like you said, because they
the other one, so many
shut it down for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, shutting it down, and the way the rides are built.
Yeah, the way how much effort they put into it.
Yeah, so in the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland, for example, I think it's a little easier. I think I read somewhere it was a little easier because the show building is actually outside the park. the actual stretching room is an open,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
so it's easier to like cart the props in or whatever they gotta do. And I guess in Disney World it's not so easy. So there was a bunch of reasons. A couple ones that I just named were one of them. But I think most of them. But I think they were most concerned about people coming and not being able to experience the ride for what it is, and so we don't get that here. We get Jingle Cruise. And did we get the other holiday overlays? I didn't. I couldn't remember.
I don't think anything but like music. I mean, they might
Yeah.
think like alien swirling saucers, the different music type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But just so, like things like that. I don't think.
That ride's a cop out.
No, I don't think they do anything that specific. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, alien swirling stuff. Like I get it, it's kids, but those things are like. It's tough. It's always so funny to see, like when you see something that you could easily see in a traveling carnival in a Disney park.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always there. There's a bunch of them. I mean, how many Dumbo variations do you have between Astro Orbiter,
yeah.
Dumbo, and Aladdin's Carpets, and that's just
That's one park, and then you got
the Dino ones.
Triceratops Spin, and so, yeah.
Speaking of which, R.I.P. Primeval World, which is a good thing because that means they're probably going to be going in some direction.
Yeah.
That everyone wants to see. That area of the park. I remember going. I went with my uncle in 2017. I said this on the show before, but I'll say it again. And he's not a big Disney guy, but he went and whatever. He's with the kids and taking it all in. It's not really his thing, but he was doing it. And even he, when he got to Dinoland USA, was like, "This doesn't belong here."
No.
It's like immediate reaction. Like, what is this? This isn't Disney. Like there is no quality here whatsoever. I'm like, well, your opinion is shared by many.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing.
So there is it's kind of a short episode, not a whole lot to talk about with these attractions like this. I mean, there's like no like particular scene in Jungle Cruise that's I guess the backside of water is probably the classic moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that. Like, it seems like they're pushing Jungle Cruise with merchandise because I've seen, I mean, Sarah has a water bottle that's, it says the backside of water. There's a couple variations of that. I know they pushed, there was some other cartoony things of Jungle Cruise things. I mean, I bought this year, one of the Hallmark ornaments was Mickey as a Jungle Cruise skipper. And,
I mean, it's because it's classic. For that part of it, it's almost bigger than it. It's almost the idea of it is almost bigger than it is. Like collecting and having shirts and like memorabilia towards it, it's almost more exciting than actually going on the ride. I don't know. It's just it has that Society of Secret Explorers and all that stuff attached to it, and
yeah,
now it's got a restaurant. The Skipper Cantina, has which is a cool place. It has all the little nods to it and all that stuff. So it's kind of like a larger than life thing. It's a regular. You got Jungle Cruise, you got Pirates, you got Haunted Mansion. Probably, if someone said name the 3 most classic rides at Magic Kingdom, those are probably the ones that come out of your mouth. Maybe Space Mountain instead of Jungle Cruise, but I think Jungle Cruise would be out of most people's mouths.
Yeah.
About classic Disney attractions. So that makes sense. And like, if you've never been there before and you want to have a good time, I think Jungle Cruise would help you do that. But like I said, a younger generation might kind of shrug at it. I don't know. Tough to tell.
Yeah, it's definitely like I've noticed riding it you notice who laughs at the jokes and who doesn't. It's always usually that 20 or below age that give them
they're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like doing it
rolling their eyes. So yeah.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, moving away from the Jungle Cruise and doing a quick little bonus segment here before we call it a day. Mandalorian finished up, and it was amazing. I think we can agree on that.
Oh yes.
So I'll
I'm
ask you.
pretty sure
Oh, go.
we watched it at the same exact time. Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say because when you texted me, like we just fit the credits finished 2 seconds ago, so it was weird that we
Literally
just
super
randomly
quick. Yeah,
watched it at the same exact time.
yeah, I think we did because we Ari was sleeping out and we had the house to ourselves, so we just got our little takeout order from Fiesta. And we were sitting there ready to watch. So I had heard it was an amazing episode. So like, what ended up happening, which we'll talk about in a second, is what I thought was going to happen once I heard it was amazing. I was like, it has to be. I can only think of it. It has to be Luke. Like, it has to show up. And
Yeah, the only other one I thought would be if Mace Windu showed up. That would be the only other. But it was it was one of the two, in my opinion, in my what I was thinking. But it was.
It has to be. I was like, it had to be something from the older episodes. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I was thinking, it was like before he drew the green lightsaber, I was thinking, and now I got a feeling this episode is going to go longer than we wanted it to, because I think this will be a lot of because it can get a lot of discussion. But I was thinking to myself, like, are they going to throw you for a loop? Like, he came out in the X-Wings, and now you're already like, oh, it's got to be Luke.
Mm-hmm.
But like, before I do the green lightsaber, part of me was like, well, maybe it'll be really crazy. It'll be Leia, like, out of nowhere. Because, I mean, we had learned in The Rise of Skywalker that she had gotten training, so who knows?
Yeah.
But then he drew the green lightsaber, and I was like, okay. And then the de-aging technology is sick now. Like, it looks so good. And people are like talking about going forward, like, well, how much of Luke will we see? Because de-aging is limited in the sense of like how much they move and stuff, which I don't really agree on. If you've seen some of the Marvel movies, de-aging seems to be quite fine. But
yeah, if you just compare it to Rogue One, what they did,
yeah,
just the difference, and that's not even that many years ago, how much better it looks.
4 years ago. But yeah, exactly. And then the other thing is, like, there's so many scenes you can do, like they did when he came with lightsaber, where you can just see Luke and you can have his hood on, and you don't even have to use that much of the technology until you get kind of like, closer in face shots and stuff like that. But anyway, question is now, where does the Mandalorian go from here? There's a lot of speculation or rumors, not rumors, speculation is a good word, because I haven't heard anything from any like reliable source, but people are saying, like, is it just going to convert? Is it just going to go into the Boba Fett thing now, and Mandalorian's done? Like, is that where they're going with this? Because I guess Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett are going to have the same release date. I say no, because I can't imagine them getting rid of the Mandalorian yet.
Yeah, I mean, they left it it open with the whole Darksaber.
Yes.
They have to finish that story, and somehow. And then I know there was talk of, I don't know, whatever I read it on that. Pedro Pascal was not like happy with how much he kept the armor on, but I mean, they answered that with him taking the helmet off at the end. So I mean, because I want to. Some websites were saying he's not officially signed on for a season 3. But he's saying he still wants to play the thing, so I don't know. But if they're going more towards him removing the helmet, I would say they could do something.
The show was sick. So I mean, I don't want them to overdo it, but I mean, usually 5 or 6 seasons before you start thinking about overdoing it, and you're only doing 8 episodes a season at a half-hour clip, maybe 45 minutes on some of the longer ones.
Yeah.
So, like, there's plenty to be told. And then now, like, as you see what's going on, like, they're using these shows to expand the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of away from the get-go, but now it's, like, tying into things. So, like, you're seeing a couple of characters from Rebels or the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And now it just brings up a ton of questions, like, all right, so he goes with Luke at the end, Grogu. Now, are we going to get a flashback to see at some point? I want to see him escape the Jedi Temple. R2 shows up behind Luke, and Grogu gives him a look like, oh, like he recognizes him. Like, so did R2? Was he the one that helped him get out of the temple? Which I would have to assume is probably a yes. And if that's the case, then was he hiding inside of R2 or the ship when Anakin's on Mustafar, choking out Padme and fighting Obi-Wan? I mean, I know it's all geeky stuff, but there's like a ton of stuff that ties in now with this character. And then one more thing I'll say before you go is you talk on the subject is he going to meet his demise at the hands of Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
Later on in Luke's
Mm-hmm.
Jedi Academy.
Yeah. There's just there's too many questions that they can't just turn to the Boba Fett thing. They have to. At least for me, I have too many questions.
Ton of questions. It's like in a good way though, because now like they're expanding things up, so like it just opens up all these doors to what's going on. And now it's funny. It is kind of I don't want to say it discredits it, but it makes it you think now. If they're gonna open up this universe, so there's all things things going on. Now we're learning there's like a ton of. It seems like there's a ton of Jedi that survived Order 66.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole original trilogy is kind of like skewed because like where are these people? Like Luke's our only hope. No, there's other Jedi.
Yeah, there's a bunch. Yeah, there's.
I don't know.
Because I mean, if they're gonna keep the video game, I mean, I haven't played the video games, but I know like some of them. They mention all these other characters from the video game, so are they gonna bring those in? Because that other, whatever, I don't even know their names, but I know talk of it. Like, is that part of all this? Is that I don't even know. Like, even this whole world they're building with the Ahsoka, like. Mandalorian could show up on the Ahsoka show or on this what's the other one, the Squadrons one. I mean, they're all basically Favreau's just making a Marvel universe of Star Wars universe, which probably should have happened from the beginning anyway, but it's I don't know.
The thing is, like, I can live with the shows intersecting. I think that works fine because you're on a streaming service. So
yeah,
you're right. Like Mandalorian's going to show up on the Boba Fett show. He's going to show up on the one they get in the Squadron with Cara Dune's character.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. I don't mind them using characters from the show into the video games and such, or a character that might work itself into the show in a video game. But I don't like to see too much video game stuff going on because like now you're asking people a lot out of people to follow everything.
Yeah.
Like I think even a lot of like average Star Wars fans can't even tie together what's happening right now with the movies a little bit. Because like I was explaining a little bit to like people that I know, and they're like, "Oh, like I didn't think of it that way," and like I think of it a little more than most. I like the movies a lot, but there's just so much going on now, and I think it's going to help fix. The good thing about it is it's going to help fix a lot of stuff. I think it's going to help fix the new trilogy, which I like the new trilogy, but there's a lot of problems with it. I think we all agree on that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And like Snoke being so here then gone, when we're going to see probably going to see like kind of how that kind of came about and why it wasn't as big of a deal as we thought maybe the movies made it feel like at first. And then I think the other thing I had joked around with my friend Scott about our friend Scott about, is that now you're really going to look back on Rian Johnson's Last Jedi and say, oh, if that movie would have just been a little bit more, I'm not going to say better, I'm going to say just involved in what was going on in the story, we would have really had a nice tie-in, but that one kind of just like drifted.
Yeah.
For the most part. And so they had the rush, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, you can see like just how with the new trilogy, how like it was just movie to movie, and there was no overall story, and how you can just in these two seasons, like how there's the 2 seasons of the show, how they have it so planned out from. It's just one big, huge story that's all intersecting with itself, and they have a vision for it. But and now it's just weird that now they're gonna have to do this extra stuff to intersect into the newer trilogy to make it make a little more sense, I guess.
Yeah, and then I was reading that Disney is, I think, either announced or thinking about going back to the prequel movies and adding like 20 minutes worth of scenes to certain things to tie it into the universe more. Which is, I guess, fine if they can do it, without it being like crazy noticeable or anything. Then that just makes me think to myself, are we gonna see Grogu? If that were to happen,
Yeah.
is that where they're gonna put Grogu? Are we gonna see him in there?
That-
That would be easy enough. You could just add into the one scene where they're in Attack of the Clones, where Obi-Wan walks into the classroom,
Yeah.
asks to find the planet, things like that.
Now, did you know how Disney added that in the Han and Greedo scene, that like, what the heck that word is? They added that McClunky word or something? Did you see that they
I didn't see that. No.
But the shot first things, somebody said, I think it's Greedo, says like a McClunky, but
Okay.
then instead of, it says some kind of word like that. I don't know if that's the word, but it's they added that. And then in the scene at the end with Boba going back to Jabba's palace, I swear I heard, I might have been Bib Fortuna saying McClunky too, to try to tie it into making this word as more like just like I don't know, like an oh crap type of word, like they're using it like that, because it seems like they're doing that. They did that with in this too with I can't think of the word now, but I know Cara Dune had said it a few times, and even the Mando had said it they were trying to create these words, I guess, instead of using our normal swear words, they're using these words. But I did notice that like that word was at the end of the Mandalorian that they had added into that Greedo and Han scene, which is
See, I didn't know that. So that's
Yep. really to begin with, that they added more instead of just letting Han shoot first.
they're gonna tie a lot together. They're just gonna try to do all those little tiny details, I think. And the other
Yeah.
question is like, so Boba Fett was bitter towards Bib Fortuna and Jabba over his death, or I don't know what the deal with him going back there to take that over was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless maybe he's big because they didn't try to help him get out of the Sarlacc pit, like didn't even bother to help him afterwards. Maybe he's bitter about it. I don't know. See if he was still alive in there.
I don't know either.
I don't know, but I'm sure they'll answer something.
I thought about that though for a while. After I was like just sitting there thinking like, so I guess that's a thing. Then it must be. And then the other thing that came to my head is Bib Fortuna is like he lived through all that. I just assumed he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah. And he seemed more like, and in the movie he seemed more like a servant that wouldn't, but I guess he wanted to be in charge the whole time.
I mean,
I did like the fact that they had him getting they had him getting fatter too. I liked that little detail.
put some weight on him.
Yeah.
I mean, how many years? This is only like 8 or 9 years after joining the Jedi, I think.
Yeah, even. But I would. Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, I know it's at least 5, maybe that much. I know it's not many.
I don't know. Well, I mean, it was a pleasant surprise because I think they wanted to do like someone said. They don't think it's going to be a Boba Fett, because if it was going to be a Boba Fett, like they don't think Boba Fett's going to take over for the Mandalorian. Because if Father wanted to do Boba Fett, he would have just done Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Why go through the trouble of starting it with the Mandalorian and then just it was a trailer for a different show. I'm almost positive of that. Which means by like 2022, we're gonna have like 6 different Star Wars shows going at once.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be good, and I think it speaks to like people being like, oh, it's only 8 episodes, and I'm like, yeah, but when they roll out the amount over the course of the year what they want to do,
Mm.
they spread the shows out, you're gonna get 8, and then 8, and then it's gonna be continuous.
Yeah,
And
it seems.
not to
Yeah.
mention,
Have they announced another movie? Like when the next?
I heard 2022 was they were thinking about the next trilogy.
Oh, so I was
So
going to
who
say
knows
maybe
about that?
if that's not until years away. I guess this is gonna spread it out enough to. I mean, but the only problem with that was it seemed like what they did with the Han movie and then the releasing it was the second movie of this new trilogy that was Star Wars Overload, and whatever order they did, it was just because the Han movie didn't make out as well, so I don't know. I just don't want them to overload it again and mess up that.
Well, I don't know. Was it Overload or was it Last Jedi?
I like the Han movie. I'd still like another movie to it.
I think with the Han movie, it was a mistake though, because even you released it in May. All you had to do was wait to the end of the year.
Wait till Christmas.
And it would have been a lot. I mean, there's no need. I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah. It was a nice little Christmas thing to myself. I'd go nice Friday night, go to the movies, all by myself.
Yep.
Enjoy Star Wars, but no, they've had to do it in May.
You know, it was good, and I like that movie. And it's picked up momentum since its release. But I think The Last Jedi is what really killed it. Because The Last Jedi was just absolutely amazing. I think Han would have been fine, but people had a bad taste in their mouth from The Last Jedi, so I don't know. But hopefully that won't happen. I don't think it will. You got a streaming service, you're looking for good shows. Mandalorian's good. It looks visually good. It is good.
Mm-hmm.
Storylines are good. If they can just continue to make shows like that, just continue to let Jon Favreau oversee things, they'll be fine. But we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
And it just left a lot of things open, which is exciting, and then it left a lot of things that could branch out now. So Luke's in the Mandalorian world, not in the Mandalorian world, but I mean is tying into things that are going on in his life, and that was pretty cool. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It was exciting to see someone from the original trilogy and his old manner, and then are we going to see, the last thing I'll say about this, are we going to see through the course of these shows Luke's slow demise towards what he kind of became in the new ones? Because he wasn't, his character, the biggest complaint was how his character almost regressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And became kind of a coward again. He grew in the original movies, and then now he's back to this scared boy kind of. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. Anyway, I think it about wraps this up. Have a good trip. Everybody out there, have a good holiday.
Yep.
And we'll just be back the week after New Year's, I guess.
Yeah.
That's when you're back. Yep.
Yeah, I'm back right before New Year's. I'm back. So.
Well, good to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So once again, social media, Twitter names down the bottom. Leave comments. We love comments. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year.